Hello, welcome back to my channel. It is the 31st of January, so I'm doing a quick video to do my February TBR. And I have just started my PhD. It's been very exciting, but you know, I've been busier than normal, obviously. So I've decided to just pick a couple of books that I'm hoping that I can actually manage. No like pile of possibilities, because I don't think I'm gonna go all whimsical in February. So I'm going to try to read these 5 books, maybe more 4, but potentially 5. So without further ado, let's dive right in. The first book on my list is Otherlands by Thomas Halliday. This hold I put back in September when the Bailey Gifford long list was announced. So obviously I'd completely forgotten about it till like last week. They were like, hey, your hold's coming. And I was like, oh, right. Okay, thank you. I'll come pick it up, I guess. I have already started it because I thought I would, you know, dive right in. I only have like 2 more weeks. Really, I feel like they give you less long for the print books than the online books. It's weird, but anyway. So this was longlisted for the Bailey Gifford. It is basically a bit of a naturalist's diary going back in time, basically. So the first chapter was set in the Pleistocene era. I don't know if that's pronounced correctly. I don't know. I'm not a very sciencey person. So that's about 20,000 years ago, and then it goes back in time more and more and more till we get to like millions of years ago. So interesting, very outside of my comfort zone, but you know, I'm gonna try to get it done this month. My next hold that came in was In Order to Live by Yeonmi Park. This book was on my 12 books to read, well, 12 countries, you know, to read in 2023. I put the hold, didn't realize it would come in super fast, so I picked it up at the same time as Otherlands. And I'm going to be prioritizing Otherlands first because it had such a long hold that I'm thinking potentially there's people waiting, so I don't think I'll be able to renew it. But I may be able to renew this one, so I may leave this one for the second half of February, but we'll see when I finish Otherlands, basically. This is obviously the author's journey. Guys, really reflecting. There you go, to hold it down. So this is the author's journey escaping from North Korea with her family. I heard about this quite a lot, so I'm quite excited to get to it at some point. And I don't think it's very long, and it's written quite large as well, so I feel like hopefully it won't be too long. The third hold that I had was The 7 Moons of Maali Almeida by Shehan, Karunatilaka. There you go. I didn't want to mispronounce it. And this is an audio hold, so I've downloaded it. I've started the first chapter. I'd started reading it like in the book form earlier, but then my hold lapsed and it was like a long queue for it. Like this book I've been waiting, the audiobook I've been waiting since October. So I'm going to try to be listening to it. It'll be my, you know, priority audiobook for the month. I'm very excited. Obviously, I won the Booker Prize in 2022, so I have a lot of prize long listed or winning books this month. So I'm very excited to finally get to it because it was one of the titles I was most excited on the long list, shortlisted, and it won. So exciting, and I can't wait to dive kind of into it. Still on my TBR is Crying in H Mart by Michelle Zauner. I want to say a third of the way through. I started it was on my January TBR, but I started it, I'm finding it really difficult to read. I've been having a very intense anxiety in January, so reading about basically her mother gets diagnosed with cancer and then dies. And I think it's a lot about that and a lot about grief, and it's been really difficult to read, so I'm taking it slowly. But I really want to finish reading it because it's really so exceptionally good. But yeah, I'll see how I deal with it in February after I prioritize the library books, obviously, because I have to return them. And finally, the last book on my TBR for February, it's a second audiobook basically, because I thought if I finish 7 Moons early, then I'll be able to dive into a second audiobook, you know, the latter part of the month. And it is The Dust Never Settles by Karina Lickorish Quinn. This is a book based in Peru, so technically it could also count as my Peru read for the year. Interesting. I hadn't realized. So this is a book that I have actually had on my NetGalley shelf forever. And next week when I finally post my plans for 2023, you'll see that one of my goals is to clear my NetGalley shelf. I don't have that many left, but most of them have come out in 2021 or 2022. So I'm late for all of them. And that's one of them. That's one of the oldest one I own. So I will try to listen to the audiobook, and I'm quite excited for it. So it'd be nice to get to it. And that's it for the 5 reads I would like to tackle in February. It's good to note that I will not be doing a TBR for March. That's because I want to save myself for the Women's Prize for Fiction longlist that is announced on the 7th of March, and I will see how it goes, what it looks like with the books I can find. Last year I really enjoyed diving into the long list when it was announced, so I'm hoping to do the same this year again. Let me know what your February reads are, what your plans are, what are you up to. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and hey, see you back. Bye!